Thank the chairman. And I'd just like to point out to everybody that at this very moment, we're going to consider an appropriations bill that had an earmark in it for $1 million for another Somali-led organization whose family has ties and convictions to ISIS and fentanyl-related addiction. And I think it's very difficult to just, for all of us to determine what's legitimate and what's not. But I would just ask if the committee will play the video that Mr. Crane had referred to for me at this time.
Can you stop the, okay, go ahead.
We get the sound turned up. You can see the subtitles there. If you'll notice the campaign contribution at the bottom for $4,700, and then the $250 million fraud scheme associated with said individuals. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's not me calling out one community or another, one individual, representative or another. It's fraud. Representative Robbins, Hudson, and Rarick, thanks for your service. I know it's difficult, and you're operating in difficult circumstances where it doesn't sound like you got a lot of support. And I imagine that as Ms. Robbins, Representative Robbins, you're the chair of the Oversight Policy Committee. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I imagine at the state level, you don't quite have the resources you need to track down all this stuff. This federal jury found that Feeding Our Future mastermind and co-defendant, and also the contributor to one of your representatives from your state, one of our colleagues here, $4,700 for a $250 million pandemic fraud scheme. Like, you don't probably have the resources to find that kind of stuff. It's massive, right? And I suspect, as someone who, you know, you serve at the pleasure of your constituents who want to see you elected and contribute to you, a $4,700 campaign contribution for a $250 million of, I guess, spending at the federal level is a pretty good investment for people. We're not here to pick on anybody, but I will tell you, I think the American people are particularly affronted when their goodwill is returned by stealing their hard-earned money. I just want to, if you can comment on that particular case, this Feeding Our Future, and the fact that these folks pled guilty to $250 million and then connections to the political operation in your state, which is dismantling your state.
Thank you, sir. Yes, so this is the big problem. There's a network of people who have been politically supporting the Democrats, who have also been contributing to them, and who have been involved in multiple schemes. So a woman who is in this child care group, the Minnesota Minority Child Care Association, Ikram Muhammad, she was later indicted in the Feeding Our Future scandal, as was her brother and her mother, and I believe a sister. And so it's a network that functions in our state that we have to get a handle on. And then one of the people indicted in that case for Feeding Our Future for money laundering $1.1 million, then they used that same company, shell company they did the money laundering with, to buy property for an assisted living facility after they were indicted. And then his wife has a company getting millions of dollars from the state to provide services to the assisted living facility bought by his shell company he's already been indicted for. They do not shut off the spigot. So that's the problem.
This is completely outrageous, obviously. I'm not an attorney. Are any one of you three attorneys? Are you? So,
yes, sir.
You said, Representative Robbins, that you informed the governor of these things. That's what you said, right? That's your testimony here today.
Yes, sir. I did a hearing on it, and I brought charts and laid out the roadmap.
So there are crimes of commission and crimes of omission. So if the governor didn't actively be involved in this fraud, that would be a crime of commission. But if he knew about it and didn't do anything about it, would you consider that a crime of omission?
Yes, sir.
And what should be done about crimes of omission regarding taxpayer funds?
So they should be prosecuted. And when, as you said, we don't have a lot of resources on our committee. As legislators, we don't have access to bank records, health records, the state payment system. So when we get credible allegations of fraud, we bring it to the U.S. Attorney and the Office of Legislative Auditor because they can get access to those records and then bring the prosecutions criminally.
Thank you, Chair. I yield.